we did honor that request at the time. My understanding is the city of Surprise does not create a hit because when somebody would put in a public records request, it forces us to create a hit or put a plate on a hot list to then be able to capture that data. So I know the city of Surprise does not, the city of Peoria does not. I know Glendale redacts everything, but in the manner of transparency, which I fully appreciate, we honored that request, but I know we've been reviewing our policy. How has that changed, and how are we now more aligned with where Peoria, Surprise, and Glendale have been treating this?
The short answer is yes. Working with the police department, we've developed a policy on how to handle these public records requests and what is public records generally accessible to the public, and what does fall within those exceptions for privacy interests or best interests of the state. As you referenced, there is no state statute that directly addresses LPRs, and as often happens when you have these fast emerging new technology, it takes a while for government to catch up. There's no case law on it. You have to look at what is analogous records in statute, what is analogous records in previous case decisions, and try to figure out where that fits. And then working with the police department, we spent quite a bit of time over the last couple months, I would say, really diving into what makes the most sense in providing access and respecting the general Arizona law provision that, public records should be open to the public unless it fits into one of these exceptions that's well developed in case law. So we think that certain aspects of this probably does fall within those exceptions. And there are some privacy interests that probably needs to be respected. There are some operational issues that the police department needs to protect that from public records. So I guess that's a long answer to say, working with the police department, we've developed we think a defensible policy that we probably would not handle that exactly the same way we handled it back then.
No, I appreciate that. I agree with that. And I would like to say, I know if somebody were to put in a public records request for a police report, we redact personal identifiable information such as phone number, address, license plate. We redact that sort of information for those privacy reasons. So there's privacy concerns on back end of what we can disclose, what we don't disclose, as well as the transparency. And as was mentioned, there is no state statute on license plate readers currently. That is something that I've made contact with a few others. I've had several conversations. I know I've had conversation with the Senate president. I know I had breakfast with the speaker just a few weeks ago where this came up. We talked about it. Chief, I know you've been with me with meetings with multiple legislators. I do know that I believe it was yesterday a bill was dropped that we have had some input in that would codify, just to make it clear. Again, this is admissible under current law, but it just makes it clear and then helps get rid of that issue where, no offense to my friend here, but if you get two attorneys in a room, you'll end up with at least 3 opinions.
There you go.
But
if not more,
if not more, and we've seen that when it comes to just this simple statute on how the just different West Valley cities treat this. So I appreciate your work on that, your conversations with legislators on that. I know you've mentioned ACOP's involved, the APA is involved, and being able to give you a voice in that process just to make sure what works, what doesn't work, what we do need, what we don't need, because a lot of that is creating those guardrails, creating the retention timelines with the disclosure rules, the privacy concerns, making sure that you cannot use it for civil enforcement. It must be criminal activity. it cannot be used for commercial purposes. You mentioned how it's a felony to utilize some information. Well, we want to make clear that if you wrongly use this information, it is not just a policy problem, it is a criminal problem. So I appreciate your work on that. I look forward to hopefully being able to clear this up. I know it's contentious, and with that, did I do a good job? Okay. I just wanted to be like Councilwoman Gillis over here. She was taking after me a little bit. So, Mayor, I appreciate the time. I feel like this side of the table has carried its weight so far.
Yeah, I appreciate the discussion from all of you, and especially when it comes to the cameras. I truly believe they save lives out there, and it's needed for the crime unit. And the discussion here was very thorough and very good. So with that, the next meeting will be January 26th.